most. I solemnly swear that I'm up to no good.
Ron Weasley is one of the characters that people love the most.
Ooh.
He is Harry Potter's best friend, and Knox finds him like someone that needs protection. This is a misconception that happens a lot during the movies, right? Because the character of Ron that we see in the movies is completely different to the Ron that we see in the books.
Yeah?
It is. So today we're gonna unveil the secrets of who Ron Weasley really was, why was he an important character, and why he is so underrated. So stay tuned.
Cool.
So Knox, when we started watching the movies, you told me certain things about Ron.
Right.
You told me like, well, why don't you tell us what you think about Ron?
Actually, among all those characters, Ron Weasley is my favorite. The favorite of mine.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Because, well, it's not for the reasons like, oh, he's so smart, he's so handsome. Because we have what? Smart Hermione. She's the smart one. And the handsome one, Draco?
Okay.
Yeah, he's neither. But then he's the one that appears to me who needs constant help all the time.
Yes.
Do you know his famous quote, his famous line? He says that all the time. Bloody hell.
Oh, that's true.
So it looks like whenever he is, or whatever that happens, he needs someone to help him with. And for me, it's just like, okay, I'll take care of him. So that's my impression of him.
Okay.
And he's very kind, he's innocent, he's loyal to his friend.
That's true.
To Harry. He even defended him several times in the movies, even though he probably wouldn't, his character is not that strong. But for his friend, he will go great length to defend them. So not only because he needs help, but he's also a good friend to be with.
Well, I think that you want to protect Ron because the way that they show Ron in the movies is a Ron that is actually panicking most of the times.
Yes.
And that's not the Ron that we see in the books.
No?
Like, for example, in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, when they jump into the Devil's Snare, we see a Ron panicking and yelling and saying, "Oh, I'm gonna die," basically. And we see a Hermione that is all relaxed and she recognizes the Devil's Snares, and then the Devil's Snares let her pass, and then she's like, "Oh my God, how can I save this poor guy?" And then she comes up with Lumus Solem, and then boom, right? She saves Ron. And then Ron says, "Oh, I wasn't afraid." But the truth is that actually the one that panicked during the book was Hermione.
Oh.
Of course,
was
Ron was
opposite.
afraid. Yeah, all of them were afraid, of course. But actually was like, yes, Hermione recognized the weakness of the Devil's Snare, and she was like, "Oh, we need to make fire, but I don't have any wood." And then Ron was like, "What are you talking about? Aren't you a witch?" And she was like, "Oh, you're right." And then, of course, they proceeded. Well, Hermione is known for very cool blue flames that she can put in a jar. And then she creates one of those, and then the Devil's Snares
Went away.
correct. They just disappear. Well, didn't disappear, just run away, let's say. But it was Ron, the one that actually brought calmness to the scene and that remind everyone that they were wizards. So they could
Do
something with magic. And we gotta understand that this is a big thing because Ron was the bridge between Harry and Hermione too, and the magical world, right? Because Harry was raised with Muggles,
Right.
and Hermione was raised with Muggles. But Ron was a pure blood wizard. All his life, he has been surrounded by magic. So there's a lot of things that Hermione and Harry don't know that Ron do know. And then one other thing that they don't depict properly in the movies is that they kind of take out major lines that Ron has to share because of this connection that he has with the magic world, and then they give those lines to Hermione. Making Hermione look like they're the only smart one in the group, or the only one that knows things.
Right.
And most of the times it's true. But for example, in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, we see a Draco Malfoy, calling Hermione a mudblood, right? And then we see Ron getting angry with a broken wand, and then he goes, eats log, and boom, the spell backfires. And then he starts to vomit these logs. The thing is that when they talk about what a mudblood is in the movie, who says that?
It was Draco?
No, it was Hermione. Well, I mean, Draco tells it to Hermione.
Right.
But the one giving the explanation of what a mudblood is when Harry asks is Hermione in the movies. But in the books, it's actually Ron. And it makes perfect sense. How Hermione would know what a mudblood is. It's not something that you can easily find in books, for example. Right? But Ron, of course, has heard that term.
He grew up in that
because
background.
he grew up not in that background,
in the
magic world, right?
Yeah.
So he's the one that explains what a mudblood is, but also he says why he thinks it's ridiculous. In that particular line is very important, you see, because not only it shows the connection, the guidance that Ron gives Hermione and Harry to the magic world, and what happens in the magic world, the social, political things that happen in the magic world. Sorry, I'm getting a call from Dumbledore. Hello, Professor Dumbledore? Yeah. You need anything?
I was wondering if we will get those drinks in the 3 broomsticks.
But also, by sharing his thoughts on the word mudblood, he shares the values that his family carries. And then what's the relationship that they have with muggles or muggle-borns. And that's very important for the rest of the story.
Interesting. But again, why is it like the movie director decided to give those lines to Hermione instead of Ron? Because actually it makes more sense for Ron to speak them, to present those lines.
I don't know. Some people say that it has to do with all the revolution of wanting to bring women up.
Feminism?
Yeah. Which I think is cool, but they could have done it in different ways. Because then they completely ruin a character for us. When you think of Ron, you don't think of someone smart or brave or anything at all.
He's not a strong character that really stands out.
It's not. He's not. And like going back to the Chamber of Secrets, that's another proof. Like when Hermione gets petrified by the basilisk, and Ron and Harry have to face the problem of finding a solution to save their friends. Well, their friend, and all the other people in Hogwarts. Hagrid comes and say, "You gotta follow the spiders if you want to know the answer, right?" What's the biggest fear of Ron?
Spider.
Right? So he's whimpering all the time. Like, he's like, "Oh, I don't want to go, and I'm going to kill Hagrid," and blah, 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 blah. And crying and not saying much. But in the books, he's like, when they hear, like, they have to follow the spiders, it happens, in the movies right away. Hagrid says, "Follow the spiders," and then they are just following the spiders. But in the books, turns out that they kind of try to find spiders, but there's no spiders anywhere. And then one day are like, "Well, we really have to do this. We gotta find a way." And Ron is like, "But I really don't want to do this." But when he I don't remember if he remembers Hermione or he sees Hermione, and he's like, "We have to do this for her. I have to." He gathers the courage, and J.K. Rowling describes in the book that he's like, "No, I gotta do this because of Hermione."
That's a
to
strong
help Hermione.
determination. That's a
That's
breakthrough.
bravery. Yeah, exactly. And that's what bravery is, right?
Exactly.
That like all of us have fears. We have fear of many, many things. But what makes us brave, what makes us Gryffindors, is to go beyond those fears. And that's what a real Gryffindor is. And then they took that essence from Ron. So why is he a Gryffindor, you ask, right? In the movies.
There he is.
And then they also depict a Ron that is not skillful in magic.
And
right?
in the book he is.
Not that he's the greatest wizard, it's because he's not. He's really bad at studies, actually. But for example, when they are doing the Dumbledore's army training in the room of requirement, there's this moment, right, when Ron and Hermione face each other, and then they are doing the stupefy, expelliarmus, and all those things. Then in the movies, we see a Hermione that kicks Ron's ass. And even Fred and George, they gamble, right? Like a sickle, I think. And then, of course, the one that bets for Ron loses the sickle. But, and we see a Ron that is kind of cocky, and he tells Hermione, oh, I'm going to be gentle. But Hermione kicks his butt. But then, in the books, actually Ron did kick Hermione's butt a couple of times. It was an even...
like a match.
Yeah, pretty much. Again, there's a reason why he's Harry's best friend, right? It's not just out of a coincidence, which it kind of is. They make it look like that way. But then in this same topic, when they are trying to find the Horcruxes, what's the Ron that you see in the movies when they're away, when they stop going to school and they start looking for the Horcruxes? Like, for example, when Hermione was tortured by Bellatrix in the Malfoy's Manor.
Yeah, he would be the one that stands out.
Right. Not in the movies.
In the movies, yeah.
He stands. What do you mean he stands out?
Like, I don't know. I don't remember if he runs over, but then...
But that's when they come out of the cell, right? When they are in the cell, he's like, oh no, we have to do something. And that's it. But in the book, actually Ron is going crazy. He's even punching the walls, and he just doesn't stop yelling. He's like, Hermione, 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 we gotta do something, Hermione. And he's going completely nuts. He really wants to do something.
Yeah.
And in here it's like, oh no, poor Hermione, we better do something. And then he just completely disappears. And that talks also a little bit about how much he cared about Hermione and his friends in general. And one part that I really hated in the movies is when he has the fight with... You didn't thought that he was cruel? When he tells Harry in the movies, like, your parents are dead.
Well, because he was under the influence of the Horcrux.
Okay.
Yeah, so Harry was tough too, and Hermione was once like that because they were under the influence of the Horcrux. But yeah, it was very tough what he said to Harry.
Well,
like, your parents are dead.
Yeah, but the truth is that Ron never said that.
No?
Ron never told Harry, your parents are dead.
Not in the book.
Not in the book. It was Harry the one that brought up that his parents were dead. Ron was only expressing that he was like tired, and he thought that Harry had a plan, and that he was just concerned about his family. And then somehow Harry says, well, I don't have parents. And then Ron was like, well, dude, my parents could be going the same way right now, and I just don't know.
So
that's all that he says.
Are you saying that even under the influence of the Horcrux, he was still kind?
Not kind. He wasn't kind, but he wasn't cruel.
Not
telling your best friend
in the movie.
Yeah, telling your best friend your parents are dead. It's cruel.
Unbelievable.
It's cruel. And not only that, he leaves his friend behind, right? And he does that in the book. We know that. But
Yeah,
telling
that
your
surprised
friend.
me that he would actually leave, because not just that he leave his friends behind, but also is he the kind of man that would just go along on his own?
He would. But one thing that we need to understand, and that's something that they didn't show in the movies properly too, and I don't think they even did it in the books. In the books, to be honest, we have to understand. We have a kid here that has a very loving mom. I mean, she's tough, but she's loving. She's used to having 3 meals a day, abundant meals. Even in Hogwarts, he never felt cold. He never felt hunger. He never felt all the things that they are facing in their search of the Horcruxes. And Harry did. Harry did.
That's how
And
he
then
grew up.
for him it was too tough. And you can say that it was the same for Hermione, but somehow women are stronger than men in all those senses, to be
And
honest.
then Ron is more into food.
Yeah, exactly. Ron is more into food. That's what they show. So it was tough for him. I mean, I'm not saying that it was correct. I'm just saying, and I think that's an important lesson,
Yeah.
Sometimes we just think from our own perspective.
You should be like this and under this circumstance.
Yeah, because that's how I live, right? That's how I think. But we really never
take into consideration the personal aspect.
exactly. Like the way that you were raised is completely different to the way I was raised.
So I cannot judge you based on my.
Right. There in Mexico we say don't judge a fish for their ability to climb trees. Makes perfect sense, right? Fishes can't climb trees, so you wouldn't call a fish, oh, you're an idiot because you can't climb the tree. And that's pretty much the same. And I think that's one of the most important lessons that Harry Potter gives us.
It is.
Because Harry Potter is not only about life, I mean magic, it's also about messages in life.
Yeah, and that's really cool.
That's what makes Harry Potter a very cool
And I think
saga.
that's why it's very popular. It has those hidden messages for people to perceive on their own.
Yeah, and one other proof of bravery that Ron gives us, and loyalty, which are the two of the characteristics of
That mark
a
him.
Gryffindor, would be that when Harry tells Hermione and Ron that he's gonna leave to find the Horcruxes, he's not coming back to Hogwarts. In the movie, we see Hermione saying, "We will go with you, Harry. We will go with you," and Ron is in the back. But in the book, is Ron the one that says, "We're gonna be with you."
So the movie does a lot of this kind of twist.
They gave a lot of the cool points of Ron to Hermione. So, and then you think, oh, that Ron is there just because, So that's why people.
Someone has to be there to make the main character stand out.
Yes,
to
exactly.
make Hermione look smart, to make Harry look different.
So that's why people think that he was an idiot, or that he was a coward, But it's all a big lie. Ron is actually a pretty good friend. He's brave, and he has.
Absolutely.
He has at a certain level his own kind of smartness. And we see the same thing in one another major movie.
Yeah.
Which in a very crucial point, we have, let's see if you guess the movie. Ron is hurt from a leg. And his rat turns out to be something else.
That's one of the first few that we saw.
Right.
The third or the fourth?
The third one. Yeah. The Prisoner of Azkaban. In the movie we see Hermione is standing before Harry, in front of Harry, between him and Sirius, and she says, "If you're gonna kill Harry, you're gonna have to kill us all." But in the book, Ron, despite the very painful leg he had, he stood up and he was next to Harry, and he told to Sirius, if you wanna kill Harry, you're gonna have to kill us too.
Wow.
It's
That's such a loyal friend.
He's a loyal friend, and he's very
Very
brave.
loyal and brave.
He overcame his pain just to say, "You're not gonna take my friend just as easy," you know. And then one more thing, last thing about Ron. I gotta say this, and I'm sorry. I know it's your favorite. He's your favorite character, but Ron is a brute.
What do you mean?
He's too tough. He doesn't have sensitivity. Like, for example, he says things that are hurtful to people, and most of the times he's unaware that he says those kind of things. You know, but he does those kind of things just because he's stupid.
Again, an example of
in
when
the
he
sense
said-
of he's unaware, not because he's cruel. Like an example would be when he
A
called.
lot of guys are like that.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That's true. Are you saying that about me? Yeah, it's true. But I mean, because we are not that connected with emotions, I think. But the point is that.
I'm not blaming you.
Thank you. I started to feel bad. I was going to start talking good about Ron. No, but in the end. No, but for example, he would tell Moaning Myrtle like, well, people can't hear you. You're dead. You know? Or he would tell Luna Lovegood like many kind of things that are hurtful. And but again, like for example, when Cho Chang comes, this happens in the book. She comes and approaches Harry to talk to him, and then she has a Quidditch team shirt or something, and he's like, "Are you really a fan of them, or you're just a fan because they are in fashion right now?" And everyone is like, "Okay, dude, relax." She came to talk to Harry, and then Hermione tells Ron like, "What's the matter with you? She just came to talk. Why do you care if she's a real fan or not?" And he's like, "You don't understand. There's people that are just fan because it's in fashion." And then Hermione's like, "And what's the deal? What's the problem with that?" You know? And that completely ruins the opportunity of Harry to be with Cho in that moment, or have a meaningful conversation. Those kind of things. But I have to say something. Despite this, Ron is also a noble and compassionate person.
How?
When we see in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban again, that when Snape is asking questions, Hermione is the one answering. And then Snape calls her a know-it-all, an unbearable know-it-all girl. And then Ron approaches to Harry and he's like, well, he has a point, you know. But actually in the book, more than once, when Snape was very cruel to Hermione, he would stand up for Hermione, and he would even get punished by Snape because he would call Snape. Well, I mean, he would face Snape for being cruel to Hermione. You know,
He will confront him.
he would confront him, and he would support and make Hermione feel supported. You know, and that's something that we don't see again.
He's the type of guy that we call 直男 in Chinese.
Oh, what's that?
Basically a straight guy.
Straight guy?
Yeah.
Like direct. Right. Yeah. He's direct, but he's not unkind.
He's
you know,
not sensitive. He's
uncompassionate.
just not sensitive.
He's just correct. I like it.
直男.
Like who? I am sensitive.
No.
So, what do you think about this new face of Ron that I'm showing you?
I like him even more.
You like him even more?
Yeah.
Do you still want to protect him?
Maybe he will be able to protect me, given that he's a loyal friend.
Okay. So, it's all a big lie. Ron is much more than they make us see in the movies. And that's why I encourage you to read the books. But not only to read the books, to really pay attention to the little details, because there's a lot of hidden messages in the pages, you know, and a lot of beautiful messages.
See if you have any discoveries that maybe we are not aware of. Please share with us. We would love to know. Yeah,
please write in the comments if you know something about Ron that is pretty cool and that I didn't mention. And Mention if you think that Ron is a great character.
If you like him or not.
Yeah,
It's
if you
okay
like him or not.
if you don't
Maybe
like
you
him.
don't like him that he's. Oh, because that's another thing.
What?
Sorry, we're going about to close the video, but in movie 4 we see a jealous Ron. He's very jealous of Harry for all the attention that he gets, right? But that's because he has always been in the shadow of his friends, of his brothers. But that's a story for another video. Please write in the comments what do you think. Let us know if you want us to talk about other characters.
Yeah.
Please subscribe, follow us, turn on the little bell, and see you next time.